to Horror Hour.
So, Lori, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
Good. I kind of want to see if we should do a wellness check on Melissa because you really put her through it.
Poor Melissa. Poor thing. She was a trooper, holy mackerel. I mean, just the demands of that role. And man, she just came in. She was game. She really was.
I knew going into the film that, it creeped me out actually. So I love that. But I didn't realize I was going to have such an emotional connection since I wasn't sure in terms of typically as a male that I wouldn't have those emotions. But the way you were able to just show also her isolation and I love the also her past. I won't spoil any of that, but I appreciated how that was addressed. So I wanted to know for you, how was it when it came to filming with just in terms of that single bedroom?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I when I first came up with the idea, I mean, God, this has been a long time coming. It's like a marathon to get this movie made. And I first came up with the idea 10 years ago. So it's a decade in the making.
Oh, wow.
But I had just, I was never officially on bed rest, but I just had my daughter and I was at home and I was having a lot of cabin fever.
Okay.
Just, not being able to leave the house much. And I had a lot of friends who had been on bed rest before. And the psychological toll it takes on someone, is pretty immense. And of course, I love horror. I've loved horror since I was a kid. I'm such a huge horror fan. So of course, my twisted mind goes to, wait, this is a great way into a thriller or a horror movie. And why hasn't anybody done this before? And so that's the kind of the seed of it all. But yeah, I think, not everybody has been on bed rest before, but we've all been through COVID, right? Where
that's why this kind of felt very real.
Maybe a little too real, right? Because we all have things we're going through and we put them aside and we think, okay, we're living our life. And then suddenly when your life just stops and you're stuck in a place, all of those things that you've put aside or that you haven't dealt with emotionally start to bubble back up. And granted, I wrote this before COVID, but I think that I think we all know what that means and how just being stuck in a room really affects you and your mental health and the doubt and, all of those things that can kind of factor in. And so, it was fun to explore that in a very sort of contained way.
I mean, I really enjoyed it. And, again, without spoiling the scene, Melissa really just acted her butt off. But that quick moment to where we lead to the bed like that, I was clutching my pearls. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I was like, I assumed something was going to, I just was not prepared because that was a very good, just natural scare. And I'm sure every mother in a sense is worried about if there's ever, that happens.
Go wrong. Yeah. And I just have to give props to Melissa. I mean, like I said before, she is just a trooper. She was amazing to work with on so many levels because she's just very, very smart, very game. And she really got this. I mean, because the producers of this produced the new Scream. And they were, when we were trying to find an actress, they were working with her and they loved her with Scream. And they said, we should consider her. And I'd seen her on Vita and I really loved her. And I knew In the Heights was coming out. And she read it and she just immediately loved it. And she immediately got it. And we started talking on Zoom and she just had a lot of great thoughts as an actress. And we really dug in. And I have to say, I was so fortunate to be able to work with her because she was so game. Because it's really like a one-woman show, right? It's just, you're in her perspective the entire time. And so it's a one-woman show, the emotional, the physical demands, and man, she just brought it. And just also because she's a producer on this as well. And I got to say, I mean, she was such a leader in that she came prepared every day and she's laughing with the crew members. And it's like, that kind of vibe really helps. And I was a first-time filmmaker. So I was really fortunate to have her as a collaborator.
And you said this was a decade in the making, but now you actually got to direct it as well. And as a first-time filmmaker, how was that? I mean, this is your project, something you've been working on to now actually be able to put this out there.
Well, I have to say I was really fortunate on a couple of levels because the Project X, who they were the producers on this, I've known them for a long time, personally and professionally. And I was so fortunate that they championed me on this. They've known me for a while. They've known Bedrest because it originally went out as a spec in 2015. It was on the blacklist. And it was a great moment for my career at the time because it was a preemptive sale. It was at a studio and I was excited that it was going to get made. And then it as things happen in the studio system, it just, it finds a shelf and it sits on a shelf for a while. And so this was a very personal story for me. It was a very personal project. And at the end of that, I pulled it back and I said, I really want to do this myself. I'm going to bet on myself. And luckily, Project X came on and championed me and backed me. And then finding Melissa as a partner and STX, I really had a ton of support. And I've had such a journeywoman career. I have a lot of experience in a lot of different things, but there are things, that I didn't know. And I went in just saying, okay, I'm going to learn these things. And, I came in with no ego and made it a really collaborative experience. And I had a lot of amazing artists like my cinematographer, JP Pernier, and Marianne Weehawk, my production designer. They were just really great collaborators, and Heather Neal costumes as well. And the crew was great. And I really had a great experience. I was reading recently, I think Ty West said it was making a movie as can be a very traumatic experience. It's very intense. And I luckily just had a really, really positive experience with everything. It was a lot of fun. It was very cold though. It was Winnipeg, very cold.
I had a really good time with it. My co-host, he's a new father, so he was sobbing watching this. Oh. But he loved it. But he's like, I can't believe you made me watch it. I go, that's good. I'm sorry. That's what we do. We love horror, and I always love to get to speak with people about horror. So I'd love to know then, since what in this past year though has made you really excited about the genre as well. Was there a movement, a trend, just something that you're seeing that you're like, this is just great?
What, in terms of horror?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've loved horror since I was yay high. So it's just been constant for me. I have to say in the past year, or the past 5-10 years, there's been this great resurgence of horror. There's always something great to watch. Things I'm watching, I just mentioned Ty West. I love X. That was a lot of fun. But there's just been so much. And honestly, I've been having my husband and I, he's a screenwriter as well and does horror. He wrote the new Orphan prequel, First Kill,
which
it's a lot of fun.
It really is. That was a gag worthy anyways, but I will say, the great thing this past year though, there have been a lot of female directors or female champion stories. And that's been something that I'm hoping we get to see more of, because there are a lot of this made me uncomfortable in a great way, because you just got under my skin. And I will say, without spoiling, leading up again to the climax and just that whole set piece of, my jaw was on the floor with that one. So I really, I had a great time. And I guess my last question would be, shooting this, what was your favorite scene? Again, without, ruining it for some, folks, what was your favorite scene to shoot?
Oh gosh, my favorite scene to shoot. Well, I think there's some fun ones, like the cat under the bed moment that was a fun one to do. But I also love just like the great, like there's a tub moment, right?
Oh, yep.
That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun as a group to be able to see and experience that, and the camaraderie of like watching this thing happen. I don't want to give too much away, but that was a lot of fun.
Those, again, as you said, it's a one-woman show, but some of the way that some of the shots just also made it feel so isolating. And several times when there were those scenes, like the tub scene, like I was just like, I just want to hug her. Oh, you did again. Kudos. I mean, I'm very happy that I got to see this. I'm extremely happy I got to speak to you about this, because it was a really great film. And again, I'm really happy that we're seeing more stories. And again, there's just a lot of female empowerment that we're starting to see, because we need to shake up the system a little bit. Absolutely. The more diverse stories and movies we can see, the better. Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you so much. It was a pleasure to speak with you. And again, really great job on Bed Rest. I had a lot of fun. My poor co-host, though, he's probably tormented for a while, but I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. I know it's tough as a new parent, right? It's like there's a lot of emotions involved with it. I was shocked he was going to watch it. He's like, I'm game. And then, I was a mess. I go, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, and it's funny because when I had written the spec years ago, I remember meeting with an exec, and she was like 8 months pregnant. Like, oh my goodness. God, I can't believe you read this. The poor thing, but she enjoyed it. But man, I wouldn't recommend that. As a horror fan, though, I would highly recommend, though, because there's just great things about horror. And I apologize. I know we're going over, but you can always tell such really rich and emotional stories, and sometimes some deep stories that I don't think you can really do with comedy or drama, because with horror, you can go those extra fantastical realms that kind of help ease you into kind of understanding or going through that journey. And so, yeah. I agree. I feel like horror is a great vehicle for a lot of those kinds of stories, because you can give the audience more of a dynamic experience. So it's not so on the nose or not so heavy. You feel a lot of things, the thrill, the horror, and it's a sneaky way to address other subjects, right? That's what's fun about horror, is the metaphor a lot of the time. No, again, yes. So thank you so much. I really hope you have the best rest of your day. And I just can't wait for more people to see this. Oh, thank you. I hope we have a lot of people. It's great to finally get it out there into the world, and really appreciate talking to you. No, thank you so much.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.